Rush Duels. In Yugioh Sevens, the formula was changed in order to mix up the style of the card game. Whether you love Rush Duels or hate them, they weren't going anywhere as long as Yuga and his friends had something to do with it. We got some really great duels over the course of Sevens, some of which I'd rank pretty highly alongside duels from other series of Yu-Gi-Oh! But, for all the duels we see, there are definitely duels that we never get to witness. And I don't mean these characters have off-screen duels, these characters specifically have never dueled as far as we know. And that's what I'm here for, to talk about the Rush duels that we should have gotten to see. Whether these involve the main story, character development, interesting matchups, or it would just be funny. Get ready for the Rush! I've always wanted to say that. Now, I don't really have a specific order for any of these, just gonna go in the order I feel like. The first duel we should have gotten was Yugioh versus Euron, both members of the Goha 6. The two siblings fought to end Rush duels. However, Yugioh wanted to take over Goha and control it all by himself. Each of the Gohas have duels with the main characters, with Euron defeating Gavin, but to Yugioh, that's a problem. The deal Yugioh comes up with is that each Goha who loses, they lose their power as president, and he wants to be the sole president left. In fact, the gang says this to Euron's win against Gavin.
That guy was tough. He's no joke, bro.
Out of all the Gohas we've faced so far, he's easily the toughest of the bunch.
And then when the other Gohas decide to stand up to Yugioh, Euron claims he's going to stop dueling so he can't lose his power. Only for Yugioh to lose and still have his power and then kick Euron out. Right! That was so stupid! It would have been far more compelling to see the two Gohas going up against each other, with Euron barely losing out. It could have given him another duel, which he desperately needed. How are you going to add him to Duel Links with the few cards we see him use? But more importantly, we could have seen just how badly Euron wanted to win in order to protect the other Gohas, but just come up short against Yugioh. This one just seems like it needed to happen, and I'm not sure why it didn't. Also, almost no one I see brings up this one, so it's first.
I want more.
Let's do this one next. Roa versus Tooms. Now, was Tooms the most important character? No, but he could have had a bigger role here. When Roa is one of the duelists who loses his memories, Tooms is the one who asks Yuga to save Roa. Now, we do get another Yuga versus Roa duel, but instead, have Tooms take on his band leader. It sounds crazy, but it could show just how much Tooms cares about his friends. That even if he's kind of creepy, he's a sensitive guy who loves his friends. Give him time to duel with his Hell Teacher Nube deck. You could even have Tooms be the one to get annoyed at Roa faking his amnesia. Cause, you know, that's not really a nice thing to do to your friend. Tooms could bring up how frustrating Roa can be, but how the band has helped him. We could see a fusion from Tooms' deck. Maybe even he borrows some of Tyler's Thunder Beetle cards for said fusion. Cause, let's be honest, Roa being Yuga to gain his memories back really doesn't amount to much. A good chunk of this duel is about Roa's dynamic with his other bandmate. Yuga and the others aren't really needed, except for the Roman memory duel coming up in the next episodes. The duel feels more like an excuse for Roa to beat a maximum and new fusion monster and get his win back over Yuga. At this point, Yuga did not need any more losses.
Even you deserve better than this.
I don't know. It would have been cool to show off their friendship and potential backstories of Roman, and it gets more Tooms. Then again, maybe I'm just adding it because I don't like either Yuga-Roa duel.
I don't want to see that!
But unlike Roa, we get to a character who, in my opinion, has the best duels all around for the whole series, Gavin, and he takes on Luke. Yeah, along with Roman, we never see Gavin duel Luke, and since Luke loves the idea of being student council president, this could be the duel that sets that up. Even if it wouldn't actually lead to Luke becoming president, it would still be cool to see these two guys go against each other in their opposing styles. Obviously, these two are buddies, so it wouldn't be hostile. And you could even have Gavin win this duel, or even a tie. I say a win because Luke desperately needed losses for his character.
Oh, well, that's convenient.
There are probably other people Luke could lose to through the series, but this one wouldn't be too drastic. And I don't feel like doing rematches on here. Whether it's President Gavin or the greatest character in all of Yu-Gi-Oh!, DJG.
When I say DJ, you say G! DJ! G!
It would be a really fun duel for the presidency. Sorry, Luke, you can't be president of school or Goha Enterprises.
You get nothing! You lose!
Good day, sir!
But speaking of Gohas, we need another duel for them, so I want to go with Euron or Yugioh versus Tiger. Now, why this duel, and why am I being finicky with which Goha in question? Just hear me out. The Gohas are the de facto villains of the show, but with two exceptions, they're at least shown to care about each other, and they're even good people just doing what they're told. Tiger is on the hero's side, and she's kind of awful, especially to Luke, her younger brother. Whether it's the fate of rush duels on the line or a friendlier duel down the line, Yugioh or Euron could want to stand up for Luke, cause he's too scared of Tiger, not that you can blame him. They could duel Tiger and show the bonds between the siblings and even get a flashback or two about the times they've had each other's backs. So, why Euron? He's the oldest, and he could see it as his responsibility to look after his younger siblings, something Tiger is unwilling or unable to do. Plus, his cool, laid-back demeanor could be a great contrast to Tiger, who is loud. So why Yugioh? Well, he's the second oldest, so the message may not be as impactful, but he and Luke have already dueled, and it seemed like they could get along. Coupled with the fact that Yugioh is probably one of the few people who Tiger couldn't scare, it could be fun too. Also, Tiger's bassoon versus Yugioh's singing. Who wins?
Go! Holy Sonic Power Blast!
Yugioh. His singing always wins. This one I'd probably have to have Tiger win, even if I hate the idea of Euron or Yugioh having one more duel only just to lose. It could show her softening to their stances and still keep her as a strong duelist, even if I wouldn't mind her losing, considering she's probably my least favorite character.
This is all my fault?
Yes, it is. You're a meanie. But speaking of meanies, I guess we should get to the next duel. Dole versus Yash. Yeah, please hear me out for this one. So President Drone, or Dole, is known for trying to corrupt duelists in order to assert Goha's control over the city, and before taking an unsuspecting duelist, Yash wants to stand up to said Drone. Yash could even want to protect his mom, Mimi. As someone who works at Goha, she wants to do everything she can to protect her family, and Yash can realize how shady Goha is and challenge Dole to a duel, and lose. Hey, Sevens needed more villains with wins, and who else but probably one of the more irredeemable ones. Maybe Yash also defends some kids who are dueling and wants to defend the honor of his mom, only to come short, and even get brainwashed himself. Well, why would this matter, you may ask? Goha being evil enough to brainwash people into hating rush duels and controlling the city makes them way more interesting as villains all around, and going after Yuga and his friends in order to do so makes it all the more personal when it begins to happen, rather than just simply losing memories like at the end of the series. Especially for someone like Mimi, who while she works at Goha, loves her son more than anything, and it could still motivate her to want to run Goha at the end of the day, but instead run it in a way that helps people instead of controls them. But does that lead to Mimi versus a controlled Yash? No, mainly because I didn't want to do any duels that already happened, but that would make some sense.
There is logic in what he says.
Because if we want to beat Goha, we have to become Goha, or at least we have to have been a part of Goha. Nail versus Yash.
Well, duh.
Okay, that segue was bad, I'm sorry, I know. Mimi hasn't won a single duel the whole series, and she didn't really have to. So maybe she has a duel where she loses to the new Yash, or even better, just asking Nail for help. He used to work at Goha, he knows how they work, and he could be instrumental in turning anyone brainwashed back to normal. Yash could be slipping in and out of brainwashing with Nail being someone to try to break him out of it. Mimi could open up to how much she's doing her job to provide for Yash, and even Nail can speak up about how important bonds are, especially between a child and mother. Now, it didn't get fully talked about, but Nail's parents didn't exactly help take care of him when he began working for Goha. We could see an emotional side to him, and he could even show some jealousy over Mimi and Yash's relationship. But of course, thanks to his friendship with Yuga and everyone else, especially Sebastian, he's grown to be happier. Now, this wouldn't be Nail trying to reach out to his parents or anything, but it would show the loyalty he has to people he cares about. And while Mimi would be touched and have a great reunion with Yash, she would still promise that Nail could come to her with anything he needed, like how she's practically a surrogate mom for the Goha 6. Huh. Wow, that one was just kind of one I threw out there, and now I kind of love it. Huh. So let's break it up with a not-so-heavy one, because we got Yuka and Roman versus Tiger and Asana. At this point, I'm starting to realize just how much I like the Gohas. But here, it could be pretty simple. The episode has Yuka trying to convince Roman to join her baseball team, yes, that's a real thing, and her intensity rubs Tiger the wrong way, which leads to Tiger wanting to challenge Yuka. And Yuka brings Roman along for the ride out of passion and showing that they'd make a good team, despite Roman wanting nothing to do with it. And considering Yuka and Asana seem to have beef in an episode that never really gets any attention, it could be something. But it could also show a tag rush duel, which I don't believe we ever got in Sevens. I mean, if it can happen in Duel Links, why not the show? A good example of rush dueling continuing to evolve. Afterwards, Yuka could keep pointing out how she works well with Roman being a bit more open to them being friends and even teammates. Against two friends as close as Tiger and Asana, it would be really fun to see, especially considering one of the better parts of Sevens is that most of its women are written really well. I'd trust it to be really well written and entertaining.
I love this. This is what I live for! I'm absolutely crazy about it!
And for the last one, we have Ghostia Taxalina versus... Well, she kind of had a cool design, and she interacted with, I mean, almost nobody. Maybe the main character from the game. I mean, he helped the gang find the Sevens book. I don't know. She just had a cool design, and, oh, wow. That's the last one?
Oh my goodness, this is awful!
There's no other duels in Sevens that I missed?
Control.
Nana Hoshi. I never imagined I'd run into my cousin in a...
Oh, wow. How could I forget?
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Rain versus Nana is kind of shocking how it never happened. They both hail from the Nanahoshi clan, Rain being part of the clan that helps people, and Nana wanting to cause pain and chaos. Out of everyone, Rain seems to be the most wary of Nana, besides Yuga, and she's proven right when Nana reveals herself to be one of the baddies of the show. She was proving herself to be pretty dangerous, tricking the gang, stealing data from Yuga, and siding with Yuga Goha. And the show just sort of ends with her being incapacitated, and then saving Yuga and his friends. Rain's story has her feel like she's always in the shadows. Part of that is because of her delusions, but also because supporting Gavin for so long has probably had an effect on her for that. Have Reno duel Nana's henchmen, yeah, I know they have names, but I don't remember or care, and have him win. Then he challenges Nana in a losing effort. Rain, wanting to avenge her brother, would challenge Nana next. Nana could even acknowledge how Rain and her delusions have caused trouble for her friends in the past, because Nana loves playing the psychological game. She could be really scummy and bring up Rain's crush on Yuga. It could rattle Rain's head for a bit, but Reno and maybe the others could help her get her confidence back. Rain could stand up to Nana and even show off some fusions. There's a Shadow Flower ninja that lowers every monster's attack points by 730,000 attack points. That's... anyways, Rain could finally be the hero of a story and show her cool side to her friends. Would Yuga fall in love with her? Probably not, but that's okay, because her taking down one of the most deceitful villains in this show is definitely worth it. She could show mercy in the end and tell Nana she's not alone. Nana can run off, but still save everyone in the final arc. Something like that.
How long is this gonna go on?
And that's the duels we should have gotten in Sevens. Not all of these needed to happen, but it could have been fun to see regardless. You could even have different winners of these duels, and I don't think I'd mind that much for the most part. But what do you guys think? What duels would you have wanted to see? Do you even like rush duels? I'd like to hope so, because otherwise, why are you watching this video? Anyways, let me know, and please, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more videos. See you next time. Just realized the main character himself got nothing in this video. Sorry, Yuga. We good?